1140 The Fan.
Talkin' money. Talkin' money.
Let's rejoin your host, Jeff Tarbell, and Talkin' Money.
Good morning. This is Colin Grail, sitting in for vacationing Jeff Tarbell. I'm a certified financial planner with Westlake, Grail & Glover. And to my left, we have...
This is John Foderera with Comstock Mortgage.
All right. Thanks for helping me out today, John.
Absolutely. Good to be here.
You know, we've got a few quiz questions we need to answer, but before we do that, Jim's been holding on line one for about 6 or 7 minutes, so I'm going to give him a chance to talk first. So, Jim, you on the line?
Yeah, how you doing today?
Thanks for hanging in there. What can we do for you?
Yeah, listen, I have both. I had Android, had a Galaxy S2 Skyrocket, and I had the iPhone 5 thing. And they really didn't make a big improvement screen-wise. It went to half-inch, which isn't really a lot. It's like you take a normal iPhone 4S and you just bump it up about a half-inch taller. So it's the same width. Now, this map thing is kind of goofy because when you go in and you bring up the maps on the left-hand side, it has a thing up on top. So, the little thing called directions. You click on that.
Uh-huh.
And then what it does, and it gives you a to and from, or from and to. And then you're able to go, and it tracks it kind of like, Garmin and TomTom used to do that kind of thing. We can go with the satellite map and things like that. It kind of works and doesn't work. It's kind of glitchy a little bit and stuff like that. But what happens is if you try to get an app, for example, for the phone or even the iPad, if you go like Google Maps, you try to get it, it's not there available in the store. So what you have to do is you end up going and downloading, like the browser, for example. You can download the Google browser instead of using Safari. And then what you got to do is go into Google Maps that way. But as far as actual app, I tried to do it where you actually go and get an app unless somehow they made it available. But I think there's a big thing going with Google right now on the Android because of the lawsuits. And you try to go actually into the store for the iPhones and stuff like that and the iPads. There's nothing there where you can download it, where it's just like Google Maps, like the old Google Maps, to be able to get the icon.
Yeah, I think that's why they're saying in all the articles, go to the browser and you can access it. They don't want to give you permanent access to that.
Yeah, the same thing as before, where you just, you actually have the Google Maps where you just click on it and it does the thing. It sets up the. Right. You have to go through a couple steps just to get to it.
All right. Well, thanks for your input on that, and I'm sure everybody's weaving their way through that.
One last thing too on that too, they took out YouTube.
Oh, did they?
Oh, yeah.
They took out YouTube?
Here's the deal. Anybody knows has a 4S or the 4, and they didn't go to iOS 6 because they have a free update to that, too.
Yeah, I understand you can download that the YouTube app, though. You can put it on. I guess it's not just from factory.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the original one. It's a little bit different one. But the thing is, what they did was they took that out. So if people have the older, the iOS 5 versus the 6, and they want to keep those things, just tell them don't upgrade. Because, see, it affects the new phone. The new phone's faster, the iOS 6, but that's the phone itself. And a lot of people understand is when they go from a 4S, for example, and update, they're not getting a faster phone. They're just getting an operating system change.
Yes,
so they
absolutely.
might keep the old stuff if that's what they want to keep.
All right, that's great information, Jim. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
All right, so let's see here. Brandon Shepard apparently still sleeping, and he didn't call in his 10 minutes. So our next person for our overnight stay at the beautiful Nakoma Golf up in Gray Eagle, just outside of Truckee. Perfect time here, October, to go and play some golf. Kevin Calvet, Kallvet. Kevin Calvet. Somebody's keeping the time. But you have 10 minutes to call in for your overnight stay at Nakoma Golf Resort. And call in. If your buddy's listening, call him, wake him up, shake him, kick him, tell him to get on the phone, or you can text us. Either way, 441140 on the text line or 339-1140. Call in. And, yes, absolutely. They need to call because we're going to verify, not your buddy going to call in. So we have a quiz question winner. And the question was, how much has been spent since 2007 in phones that have been, iPhones actually, that have been broken, damaged, beat up? The answer is $6 billion with a B. $6 billion since the smartphone's introduction in 2007. That comes from Smart Money here. So A lot of money being spent on these iPhones these days. It is a big money maker.
Yeah, I look around my house, and I can understand why they're the richest company in America right now. So
Yeah. And now, with the new iPhone 5, and you got the new adapters, new plugins, all this else. So lots of money going around for Apple, and hopefully they're continuing to spend it.
Maybe I didn't understand it right. When I ordered the iPhone 5, I actually had to order separately and pay separately for the thing that plugs into the wall to charge it. Otherwise, you just get the USB charger.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe they got me, and I'll end up with two of them. I'm not sure when it shows up in the mail, but
Definitely. All right, so we're moving on here. Remember, Kevin Calvet for the Nakoma overnight golf stay. Time to call in.
So, hey, John, since Jeff's not here, we get a chance to talk a little bit more about mortgages and what's going on out there. So, I sit in the financial advisor seat, and I talk with clients all day, and I can't believe we have this incredible opportunity to lower people's interest rates again. When they went down to 10 years ago, I thought that was amazing. Then they went to 5. Then we couldn't believe we could even get below 5. And now people are disappointed if they're not below 4.
Right.
If you do it right, you can get below 3, I think.
Yes, yeah.
So here's what's happening. Some of these people have been through refinance 2, maybe even 3 times in the last 10 years, and they start looking at their statement, and they say, why would I call a mortgage company or a mortgage broker? Why don't I just call my bank that holds it? I get my mortgage is currently with Wells Fargo, B of A, some entity. Why don't I just call them? It must be easier and cheaper to work with them. So, is that true? Because I'm really not sure as the financial planner. Is that a good strategy?
Yeah, it's a good question. So you get your statement from Wells, NationStar, B of A, whomever. It doesn't necessarily mean that they own the mortgage. It means that they are servicing the mortgage. And if you call, say, Wells Fargo because your mortgage is with them, they know exactly what I would know if you called in. They're going to know what your bank amount, what your amount is, what your current rate is, and as far as getting a new loan, you're going to have to go through all the same steps. There's no little extra giveaway, freebies. Sometimes the rates are good. Sometimes they may be an eighth or a quarter higher, depending on lots of different things. Unfortunately, if volume's way up, why do they need to pull rates down? There's profit margins on the backside. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but a lot of things going on with the G fee, a lot of things going on with QE3 easing. So with a bank like ours, the ability to do things in-house, you have timing differences. Wells Fargo, I believe, is running about 90 to 120 days on a standard refinance. On a HARP loan, even a little longer. We're doing them in about 30 to 45 days if it's clean and neat. The reason that is we have our facilities here. We're not moving loans all over the place. You come in, we sit down, we get you started, we get your disclosures out, get you moving along to processing and underwriting, doc drawing, everything in-house. So it gives us ability to get things done a little quicker. With HARP loans, if they're have to go outsourced, there is a lot of timing differences with HARP loans just because of there's a little more risk to them. You're taking a loan that's 100 to 210%, underwater, and what that takes is just a little more risk, a little more back end look, and there's a ton of people out there.
So kind of where we started is if somebody's sitting here with a statement and says, "I'll just call my bank," versus calling John over at Comstock. They may not get a better price. They could even get a worse price because they're still dealing retail. They're not really going to the wholesale side of their institution.
Definitely.
Okay. And then, you're talking about HARP loans. I've still got a lot of clients that may be very close to their equity or no equity, and they don't believe that they're not even thinking refinance because they don't believe that they can. Going back a year or 2 or 3 thinking, well, if I don't have at least 20% equity in my house, I have no option. So how's that changed over the time? And who does have an option to actually look at refinancing?
Yeah, great question. So lots of different options there. You can go up to 97.75% just with FHA on a refinance if there's no cash out. And that's, sometimes with or without appraisal. You can do.
So when you say no cash out, that means if somebody has an equity line in there, that would be considered cash out if they wanted to clean that up.
That is correct. Yeah, an equity line that wasn't used for the purchase of the home is considered cash out. So
But if I have an equity line, can I still refinance under that? Will the equity line
That's
people
correct.
sign off on that?
Yes. That's called a subordination, and we're doing tons of subordinations. Basically, let's just say you own a $200,000 house, and your first mortgage is $180,000, your second mortgage is $70,000, so you're at a $250,000 loan on the house. It's valued at about $200,000. What happens there is that's an easy one because you actually have, your 180 first. The second subordinates, meaning they just have to get the authorization to stay in second position. The first mortgage is probably going to be anywhere from, currently about 5 to 6.5% is what we're seeing, and even 4 3/4. So we can go ahead and refinance that. So definitely lots of options. I would strongly suggest taking a look at it. I mean, the rates, I quoted rates the other day, less than 4% on a 25% equity position investment property. I have not seen that. This is in the 3% range, 30-year fixed, non-owner occupied home. It's just amazing.
So somebody that's more than 100% debt on their property, there's options today that weren't there a couple of years ago.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, we're seeing a lot of first-time home buyers, and I guess let's first talk. I've heard Jeff talk several times about what's going on out there, and don't believe everything you read. People that actually just want to go out and buy a house, make an offer, move in. They can't find a house.
Yes.
So what's going on out there with inventory?
Inventory is still tight. Definitely inventory is difficult. We're seeing, a lot of resale stuff out there. We're seeing short sales get sold. We're seeing a lot of investors buying these properties still and flipping them. We're seeing home builders selling homes. They're actually raising their prices on homes sometimes weekly because of just strong demand for them. They're able to, little by little increase their homes, which is increasing home values for all of us. I with these flips, if I could talk about that for a minute, a flip property, this is where a lot of first-time home buyers are going out there. Somebody buys a home for $75,000 to $125,000 on the court steps. They put some money into it. They put some lipstick on it, throw it back out there for $150,000, and for the home buyer, the first-time home buyer goes out, they see this home that's been redone. It looks nice. And typically it is. It's a great opportunity for a first-time home buyer to get something that's cleaned up, ready to go, because generally they don't have any money to clean these homes up. And what we're seeing is there's different guidelines for it. There's different rules, and a lot of these are being purchased or being flipped within 20 to 30 days to get back on the market. And what happens here is we have to do what's called a home inspection. On any flipped property within 90 days, there's a home inspection required, and this is an FHA guideline for the first-time home buyers. And what happens is the home inspector goes out there, and they just make a list of things that they think, whether health and safety, whether there are potential problems, and what happens from there is it kind of opens up a couple balls. A lot of times there's a pest inspection called on them. There's roof certs that are called on them. So they're really making sure that the first-time home buyer buying a flip, or any home buyer buying a flip, it doesn't get a home with some lipstick on it, that it's done right, that there's no health and safety, there's no pest problems. There's also an ability to track title on them to make sure that there's no straw buyers in the middle. A lot of things have changed since the old days of, fog and a mirror. Now it's verify the house, verify the individual, just really digging in, making sure that there's no nothing uncovered. So in the long run, everybody's moving. We're getting these houses moving, cleaning up areas. We still need inventory. There's still shadow inventory debates out there. Banks are holding stuff, banks aren't holding stuff, but a lot of activity, but we definitely need inventory. So if you want to sell your house, put it up on the market, call your local realtor. If you're a builder, as you know out there, start building them, and there's lines of people looking for them. So good time.
All right. Well, John, thanks for all the input. And if you want to reach John directly, you can reach him at 295-5168, area code 916-295-5168. John, do you have a winner on one of the quiz questions?
Well, we're still looking for Kevin Calvet. Oh, His time is up.
Yeah.
Kevin Calvet's time is up, so we're moving on. This is for the Nakoma overnight golf stay at the beautiful Frank Roy Wright location out there in Gray Eagle. And I might have to go and take this overnight trip.
Like
this is, if you go online and look at Nakoma Golf, it is a gorgeous place. Our next person up, Darren Darr, D-A-R-R, Darren Darr. You have 10 minutes. Call in for your overnight stay at the Nakoma Golf. Otherwise, I think John Foderero, that's myself, will be maybe checking it out. But I'm hoping Darren Darr is awake, listening in. He is a local guy here, so we're looking for Darren Darr.
And before we head off to break, can we give away some more Mountain Lion tickets here?
Yes, definitely. Mountain Lion tickets. We have 2. Let's see. Let's give 3 4-packs away to some folks out there, whether you got 4 guys, 4 girls, a family of 4. It's easy question, and this is, what was last night's Mountain Lions score out at Raley Field?
All right. With that, I'm Colin Grail. To my left is John Foderero. Give us a call at 339-1140 or text 441140, and we'll be right back.